heroes welcome as expected. And Malik Brown to jump center. Kevin Jai from Notre Dame, and it's the Orange with the basketball first. Judah Mintz in and out. The Fighting Irish come in riding a season-long 3-game winning streak, and Burton is the man who makes them go. Keep your eye on number 11, the coach's kid, Braden Shrewsbury, coming off a brilliant game Wednesday against Louisville when he went for 23 points. And for the Orange, it has been steady in recent weeks. J.J. Starling, Justin Taylor, Malik Brown, Chris Bell. Of course, we've talked about Judah Mintz with the basketball now, puts it on the deck, weaves his way into the lane, and he traveled.
You can see the adjustments already made to start. They put Davis, a bigger body on Judah Mintz to try to bother him, give him some cushion to try to keep him out of the paint, forcing that early turnover there.
Well, Syracuse has had an interesting last week or so. They knocked off North Carolina here in the Dome, then went to Georgia Tech and lost before going to Raleigh and beating North Carolina State on Tuesday 87-83. So which Syracuse team shows up here this afternoon on Jim Boeheim Day? Kevin Jai over the left shoulder, and he's got the Irish on the board first.
And throw out the records, because the Fighting Irish team is defensively, they're the most physical defensive team in the ACC. Their defense allows them to be in the game, as you can see there, and near steal by Burton. They're going to hold you down. Coach Shrewsbury staying on top of his guys. I mean, the magic number for Notre Dame is going to be 70 points offensively. Can they make enough shots to get into 70 points? If not, they know they struggle to score. They have some offensive challenges, so we'll see what what adjustments Notre Dame can make, continue to keep bodies in front of the Syracuse team to control the paint.
Brown finds Mintz. Shrewsbury with the rebound for Notre Dame. Irish on top of the basketball, 2-0. Markus Burton turns the corner. Brown blocked the shot. One of the best in the ACC at doing just that.
Like Burton thought he had the layup, and Brown is just such an underrated defensive player. And I mean, he's definitely in the defensive player of the year category conversation. And you don't expect a guy of his size to control the game defensively the way he does.
Davis to boot, lines up the three and buries it.
We joked about it earlier with Coach Shrewsbury yesterday, talking about the depth perception. You're in this dome, it's not normal. You know, teams aren't accustomed to that, and so far his guys are coming out tonight like they're used to it.
Yeah, the Fighting Irish spent quite a bit of time here in the building last night getting acclimated. Mintz gets the Orange on the board, and the fans inside the JMA Wireless Dome now take a seat as Syracuse has its first field goal of the afternoon. But yeah, this Notre Dame team under the first-year head coach is almost an entirely new roster made up of guys who until last night had never been in this building to get the sight lines down.
No matter what you say, it's just something you got to get used to, and I don't know if you ever do. You just got to shoot the ball with confidence. But I can tell you as a former shooter, the depth perception that you see in the back of the glass it makes a difference.
Tay Davis spins into the lane, beat the buzzer. Taylor after the rebound. Irish knock it out of bounds, and so Syracuse will have it for their first-year head coach, Adrian Red Autry. And of course, you know, it's Jim Boeheim Day, and that man was his first lieutenant for the better part of the last decade and got promoted this past spring. It's been a whirlwind 10, 11 months since he got the job, and it's not going to slow down for a while.
It won't. I asked him earlier, did he have a chance to enjoy it yet? And he says he hadn't, and I don't know if he will, because as soon as the season ends, he's got to get right out to recruiting.
Bell hits his first shot of the afternoon. This is a Syracuse team looking for its 18th win of the year, 17-10 overall. Mintz trying to complete the steal, has the ball, dumps it off Starling. And this is one of the big storylines today, Randolph. Can Syracuse turn over Notre Dame? The Irish have had all sorts of trouble in that category this year until the last 3 games. Syracuse, meanwhile, is the best in the league at taking the ball away.
They are. And Notre Dame has had an issue with turning the basketball over. The key for this game is, can Notre Dame take care of the basketball, and can the Orange rebound?
Burton bounces it inside. And a powerful slam by Kerry Booth.
Great sign for the Irish. See Booth getting going here, and his length and talent just oozing of potential. And knocking down the 3 earlier and getting that follow-up dunk there is.
Starling, no. Pass taken away by Starling. Taylor gives it back to J.J. Starling. He kicked it. Bell, that's not his game, but somehow manages to get it in, and the Orange retake the lead.
Chris Bell showing you he's more than a spot-up shooter there, taking that off the bounce and making a difficult shot.
Davis, the Seton Hall transfer, sets the screen for Burton, tries to turn the corner and get downhill, goes to the left hand, can't finish. Brown may have gotten a piece, and the foul will take us to our first break of the afternoon on Jim Boeheim Day here in Central New York. ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by DirecTV. Stop compromising, start watching. Upgrade to DirecTV.
Hey, you seeing this?
Wait, where's the dish?
There ain't one.
You're telling me you can get DirecTV, the good stuff, and you don't need a satellite dish? Oh, I used to love doing my business on those things.
You're one sick pigeon. Them dishes kept the rain off our beaks.
We just have different priorities is all.
Satellite-free DirecTV. Never thought I'd see the day.
Well, our lifespans are quite short.
Stream DirecTV without a satellite dish.
I'm gonna do this thing with my neck just for a bit.
The most important part of your business are all the people who come through your doors every day. And Cintas can help you take care of them. Your dedicated Cintas service reps will provide the essential products and support to help keep your employees performing at their best.
So your business can too. Get Cintas.
Oh, I'm ready!
Get ready for the workday.
I work hard and I want my money to work hard too. So I use my Freedom Unlimited card. Earning on my favorite soup. Got it. Earning on Daddy Clear. Don't touch it, don't touch it yet. Let me get the big one. Nope.
This one?
Nope.
This one?
Yes. No.
Wait.
The big one.
They're all the same size.
Wait. Let me get them all. I'm gonna get them all. Earn big with Chase Freedom Unlimited. How do you cash back? Chase. Make more of what's yours.
We're Ram, and when trucks are what you do Truck Month better than anyone else. You do trucks that work harder and play harder. And you do trucks that win by breaking every rule of what a truck should be. So this Truck Month, what you should do is drive a Ram. Trucks are what we do.
Get 10% below MSRP for an average of $8,400 under MSRP on the purchase of select 2024 Ram light duty and heavy duty trucks.
You can feel confident Continental is the smart choice in tires.
Can they handle extremes?
Yep. Tested from the Texas desert to near the Arctic Circle.
Really?
Really.
Anything for the guy who finds that one pothole?
Yeah, road hazard coverage has your back.
For real?
Absolutely.
Were they made by like a bajillion engineers?
Well, closer to 100. Continental. Welcome to the smart choice in tires.
Back in 1962, Jim Boeheim came from Lyons, New York, without a scholarship and earned his way into being a senior captain on a tremendous Orange team. After an apprenticeship as an assistant, he took over the head coaching duties of the basketball team in 1976, and then in the 80s started stockpiling talent and turned this program into a national powerhouse. And that has led to multiple trips to the Final Four, culminating with the national championship in 2003, spearheaded by the great freshman Carmelo Anthony. The wins over 1,100, second most all-time in college basketball history, but perhaps his greatest honor was getting the opportunity to not only represent his country and win 3 gold medals as an assistant coach for Team USA, but then coaching his sons, Jimmy and Buddy. Of course, that was the game when Jimmy came in for Cornell and later transferred to Syracuse to play for his father, who just moments ago, along with his wife Julie, receiving a standing ovation from the adoring fans here inside the Dome.
You're exactly right, Doug. There's no better honor than coaching your children, and I was fortunate enough to be able to coach mine, and it is the absolute best feeling in the world, and I guarantee of all the great things that Coach Boeheim accomplished, that ranks #1 on his list.
Well, Randolph Childress, you as well as anybody in this building understand some of those elements. You were a star player, of course, at Wake Forest, and you were on the coaching staff for many years, and as you allude to, you had your son playing for you. So, again, you understand what Coach Boeheim is feeling, at least to a certain degree.
No matter nothing that you accomplish on the court, and even winning that national championship, it means so much to everyone else, but him coaching Jimmy and Bud, nothing gets better than that. It's just the best that you can ever accomplish.
And as far as we know, neither of his sons were able to make it to the Dome today. It was never said publicly that they weren't going to be able to make it, but Jimmy's playing professionally over in Germany. And Buddy is with the Detroit Pistons. He was just re-signed to a 2-way contract. He had spent all of this season with their G League affiliate. Judah Mintz, count the basket and one.
I think his dad will forgive him. I think their dad will forgive both of the boys. I think they're out making money. Dad's okay with that. This is just part of what Notre Dame has to do better, but what Syracuse does defensively. They're active with their hands. Judah Mintz, as we mentioned early in the game, he's third in assists. He's really active hands, quick feet. Can't give those steals, breakaway layups, and you can't pile on top of that with an and one foul.
And Randolph, where Jim Boeheim might be okay with his sons not being able to make it, I'm not so sure Julie's happy that the boys aren't here. She really wanted the boys.
That's because she's tired of Jim. That's the difference. You can relate to that. Your wife's glad you're here with me and not home with her.
Their daughter Sissy, though, is here. There's another Syracuse deflection out of bounds. Notre Dame will keep it with 14 seconds on the shot clock.
Red's reminding the guys he doesn't want them chasing. He wants them to be disruptive against the Orange. You know, he doesn't want them running their offense much. He wants the Orange defense to be very aggressive in the passing lanes, controlling the paint, keeping the Irish out, and taking contested jump shots.
Under 5 on the timer. Julian Roper gives it back. Burton should have put it up. Instead, it's a shot clock violation. So the turnover forced by the Orange defense.
4 early turnovers here, as you can see, and during this win streak, the Irish have done a great job of taking care of the basketball, and the key for them is not turning it over and getting up shots. Just getting them up. Anything's better than the turnover for this group.
Mike Shrewsbury and his staff have been pleased with how his team has just matured, and the young players seem to continue to get better. And they also talked about, Randolph, the fact that this team is still very much together. They endured a 7-game losing streak earlier in the year. Nice move to the bucket by Malik Brown for his first 2 points. But you know, when a team doesn't win, it can easily fracture, but that clearly has not happened with this Notre Dame team.
It has not, but the one thing that they did during that stretch that they're not doing now is communicating. They were talking, communicating a lot. Right now, the noise is bothering them. They seem to be a little bit distracted with everything that's going on, and a lot of dribbling here with the basketball. They're not moving their bodies on the ball.
Roper, nonetheless, able to put it in. The Northwestern transfer off the bench with his first 2, drawing Notre Dame back to within 5.
Roper's a guy that Coach Shrewsbury says, hey, I want guys on the floor, guys in this program that I can lose with. And he's one of those guys that toughness he brings and an attitude toward the game.
Starling's shot goes out of bounds off of Notre Dame. Syracuse will keep. 2 of the top teams in the ACC square off at 4 Eastern today. Number 10 North Carolina takes on Virginia. Then it's Texas and number 9 Kansas. And at 8 Eastern, 2 SEC teams get after it. Number 5 Tennessee hosting Texas A&M. It should be a great day of hoops here on ESPN. Mintz to Brown. Missed the layup. He pokes it away. Roper has it for Notre Dame.
Notre Dame made an adjustment there in their ball screen defense. They started the game in drops, but it was allowing the Orange to get too deep in the paint. So now they're bringing Jai up and trying to stop the ball on the perimeter and not let it get so deep.
Booth misses badly. Starling comes away with it. This is a Notre Dame team that is last in the ACC in scoring at 62 points per game. And again, as you've talked about, if they can get to 70 with the way they play defense, they've got a very good chance of winning the basketball game. Mintz is fouled, and he'll head back to the free throw line.
No one's better in the country at drawing contact and fouls there, and that's just Mintz using Burton inexperience against him. Sometimes you can hear, the coaches can tell you time and time again, but until you experience it, you just don't know. And Judah Mintz is already in his bag, drawing fouls, just doing what he does.
Well, he went for a career-high 33 points in the ACC SEC Challenge against LSU. The most points scored in a regulation game for Syracuse since Elijah Hughes went for 33 at Georgia Tech 4 years ago. Mintz can heat up in a hurry.
Well, if he's knocking down threes, you just can't guard him because gets to the line, draws fouls, he controls the paint with his penetration. And there's one weakness in this game is shooting from deep, and it's only shooting 29% on the year. If he's knocking down that, then good luck trying to guard him.
J.R. Knesny's come in for the first time for the Fighting Irish. Tay Davis back on the floor as well as the Irish wear their road blue uniforms. Syracuse in the familiar home white with the orange script lettering, which seems appropriate with all of the former Orangemen in the building. Uniforms of the past very much look like what we see this season for Syracuse.
Now this is the dangerous part of the game for the Irish. Burton is such a big part of their offense. Who do they run their offense through?
Turnovers could be a real problem today for Notre Dame.
Judah Mintz doing Judah Mintz things here, coming out strong at the Orange, up 7 early here.
As the head of HR, I help lead a successful home security firm. Our teams work hard to secure our customers' most valuable assets. And while they do that, I work hard to secure ours, our people. That's why we chose Principal to provide the benefits and retirement plan that show our people just how much we appreciate them. Benefits help us keep top talent. Hi, Mom. Benefits help us grow because we know how important security is to all.
The $20 taste of KFC meal is 6 pieces of chicken and these 4 sides. Mashed potatoes and gravy, some of this, creamy this, and cheesy that. And don't forget the buttery biscuits. All that for 20 bucks. KFC, it's finger-licking good.
Being the best takes hard work. It takes early mornings, planning, precision, sweat, sacrifice, and teamwork. That's why Old Dominion Freight Line, the #1 national LTL carrier for quality, works hard to be the best in the game and is proud to support those striving to be the best in their game. Old Dominion Freight Line, helping the world keep promises.
So what is the next big thing? Well, Galaxy believes the next big thing is you.
Me?
Yes, look at you. You're open to experiment. You open your heart.
I have a play this weekend.
And with the power of Galaxy AI, you'll open even more possibilities and open your imagination. We're putting all that power in your hands. The next big thing is you.
Yeah, I mean, Gecko's a beast. He's got that dog in him.
He wasn't just awake before us. He'd already worked out how to help protect way more than just your car.
I'm great at insurance, but Gecko is he's something else.
Yeah, we're talking renters, jewelry, pet insurance.
And then he'd come back at night and study film.
Riddle me this. If it's so easy a caveman can do it, why is he working so hard?
From cars to home to pets, it's easy to Geico.
I recommend La Roche-Posay Lipicar Body Cream. 1 application a day keeps very dry skin away. 48-hour hydration helps repair the skin barrier. La Roche-Posay.
These are the nights that players remember.
Good luck dealing with this team when they get repetition and right.
Saturday primetime at 8:30 and a Sunday showcase doubleheader at 1 on ABC.
Orange by 7 over the Irish, and let's see how Notre Dame is doing on the road, brought to you by Hampton by Hilton. Points allowed pretty steady. They have been really good defensively. That's been the calling card this year, but Notre Dame has lost 7 of 9 true road games, looking to get one in the win column here today in a building that up until today Micah Shrewsbury had never been in for a game, and apparently was telling us last night and in talking to his son Braden During a trip across central New York for an AAU tournament a few years ago, Mike had just pulled the car over and said, we're going to poke our heads inside the dome, and then they went up to the Mello Center, which Braden remembers the Mello Center, the practice facility for the Orange, more so than he does the dome, but Dad remembered coming in here and just thinking, wow. And apparently it's a family thing. When they're anywhere in the country, they love checking out, and I understand this, athletic facility.
Well, when you're a parent and you know you have boys, you travel all around the country in AAU, so you get a moment like that with your family, the kids in the car with his younger brother Nick. Shrewsbury's just driving around, taking on his sights and stuff that they enjoy seeing. He says he's a big college football fan, so he enjoyed that as well. And Judah Mintz is picking up where he left off in the first 3 of the game, and he's on his way to a big game already in double figures here with 10 points.
Yeah, he himself outscoring Notre Dame with those 10. Orange up by 10. And that is the 6th turnover committed by Notre Dame. And again, during their 3-game winning streak, they've been averaging 7, which is tremendous, and they've already got nearly 7 through the first 9 minutes here today.
Well, that's the other issue you have, too. And with Burton picking up those 2 fouls early now, he's the highest guy in the ACC in usage rate. Their entire offense revolves around him scoring and creating, and then now it'll be interesting to see how much they can play without him in the game.
Claudia Copeland, I think, impressed himself, even though he didn't finish that dunk. Came down going, woo, that would have been nice.
Catching a lob back, which is something not many of us could do. Maybe you.
No. J.J. Starling, who has been better at hunting his shot in recent months, finds a wide open 3, and the Orange have opened up a 22-9 lead here at the Dome on Jim Boeheim Day.
If you struggle with CPAP, you should check out Inspire.
Honey?
Inspire, sleep apnea innovation. Learn more and view important safety information at inspiresleep.com.
His given name is Jonathan, but everybody in the Dome knows him as J.J. Starling, the local kid from nearby Baldwinsville. And he has improved his shooting dramatically as the season has gone on, Randolph.
So comfortable now, and he struggled earlier in his role and adjusting to the system and new team, and now he's figuring things out. Last 5 games, he's averaging over 17 points a game, shooting 50% from the floor, and you can see now it's 2 of 4 with 5 points here. He's just establishing himself as one of the better players in this league. As this backcourt is as good as any in the ACC.
Yeah, Starling leads the ACC in minutes played, over 35 minutes per game. Markus Burton back into the game, and he turns it over to Chris Bell. Copeland, give it off. We have seen that combo time and time again this year, Copeland to Brown.
Burton's in the game now and has that turnover. You can see his body language. He's got to be confident. This team's going to need him to be aggressive and continue to be aggressive and not worry about turnovers now.
Well, in the ACC Rookie of the Year conversation, as Copeland pokes it away, where would you put Markus Burton right now, Randolph?
As far as the freshman?
Yeah.
I think he's right there. I think he's one of the top 2 or 3 guys in the league. And, you know, obviously you got Bub Carrington and Jared McCain down at Duke. And I think those 3 guys are in the running for the freshman of the year.
Georgia Tech certainly has a couple of guys who might wind up on the all-freshman team.
I think those 2 guys round the list out, but I have so much sympathy for Burton because he's a smaller guy in stature, but no one has more responsibility for the team than he does. And you would expect that when it's transitioning in a program, but you would want to rely on a veteran guy. And so I'm always sympathetic to that. And I think he's the fastest guy in the ACC with the basketball in his hand. And as things slow down for this young man, you know, you're going to have a heck of a player on your hands.
Tay Davis misses at the line. Yeah, Burton's only 5'11", 166. His high school, Penn High School, is only 8 miles away from the Notre Dame campus. He grew up in nearby Mishawaka, Indiana, and he said it was a dream come true when he got the scholarship offer. And after the coaching change, when Mike Bray's staff left and was replaced by Michael Shrewsbury, there seemed to be no doubt he was going to play for the Fighting Irish.
Yes, credit to him for sticking it out and committing to Coach Shrewsbury. He knew Braden from AAU basketball being in the area, but right now he has to continue to be aggressive. He's got to be smart. They got to help him in the post if he gets posted up. But he's got to stay aggressive. Don't worry about turnovers, just play.
Bell puts it up and in.
Talking about hot from behind the three-point line. Coming off 8 of 10 against NC State.
Burton gets it swatted back near Coach Boeheim. Malik Brown trying to hit his former coach with that ball.
Just gets downhill, and you know if you get to the paint, Malik Brown is coming. I think he just wanted to say hello to Coach Boeheim. Get his attention.
And after Chris Bell made that three over the tight coverage of Braden Shrewsbury, it was right in front of Micah Shrewsbury. And I think something occurred between the two of them that perhaps Bell said something that Micah didn't like, if I'm interpreting correctly, and perhaps that's part of the conversation there. Now Bell will go out.
Well, you can see Red Archer telling them that there's things you do and there's things you're not supposed to do, and that's one of them. And you love him making shots, and you love the talking, but it can't be the coaches. And I guess Chris is probably telling them, hey, I was just saying something to the guys, and Shrewsbury taking up for his players.
Justin Taylor back into the game for Syracuse. Here's Mintz off the drive from Copeland. Starling from the left wing, left it short. Fighting Irish do a really nice job on the glass. They don't have a dominant rebounder, but they've got a number of guys, including that man, J.R. Konechny, who averaged between 4 and 6 rebounds. Konechny, another local from right there in South Bend, has his first 2 points.
You won't find any easier than that for Konechny coming in, known for more of a perimeter player, but taking it strong to the basket there.
Taylor off the nice feed from Brown.
We've lamented how strong the Irish are on the defensive end, but it's been fairly easy for the Orange, just controlling the paint, getting there off the dribble or the pass.
Tay Davis strong to the bucket. No, Taylor got a hand on it. Ball comes back out to Shrewsbury. Gets a clean look and can't get the roll. Starling, the finger roll and the foul. He will be at the free throw line when we come back. All orange so far this afternoon. And when we come back, we will hear from some of the people celebrating. The longtime coach, 47 years as head coach here at Syracuse, along with coach and his friend Dave Bing.
Where'd you learn to serve?
Oh, I didn't serve, but if your spouse, parent, or grandparent served in the military, you can join USAA.
Yeah, my grandpa did, so I'm already in, but I was talking about your serve.
Oh.
USAA, for the military community. Did you know that only 1 in 10 Americans consume adequate amounts of fruits and vegetables? AG1 fills nutritional gaps and promotes gut health with essential vitamins and minerals, pre and probiotics, and superfoods. Supporting your health doesn't need to be complicated. Try AG1 today.
Nuts. No, with Planters nuts, it's not nuts. It's nuts. Because Planters nuts are good.
Planters nuts. Nuts.
I get to love you. Forever I'm yours, forever I do. Every kiss begins with K.
If you feel like things don't add up right now, you're not alone. So we've lowered the price on hundreds of your favorite products. Because when the cost of living goes up, we find new ways to go low. It's why we're here. That's a promise, not a promo.
There's one thing that never changes.
Georgia.
The anticipation.
Georgia. The whole day through.
Everyone deserves a healthcare partner who's there for what matters.
Tooth decay? Reverse it with Crest Densify Active Repair.
No, wake up!
What's happening? What's happening? Wake up!
What's the Highlander life? It's keeping your kid awake now, so you can enjoy the sweet, sweet silence of a full nap time later. The 2024 Toyota Highlander. Right now, lease a new 2024 Toyota Highlander LE for just $429 a month for 39 months. Toyota, let's go places.
He came to my hometown, and you know, I came around the corner and I'm seeing him. I'm like, damn, what's all the commotion? And it was him. For me, it was just more about seeing him, being in that presence. My environment was totally different at that point in time, so to see him embracing that type of environment and those type of people in my community, in my neighborhood, I felt like he really understood me as a young man. And that's why I'm really committed to him. As a young boy, young man, I never experienced that before, being open with a coach and, you know, inviting with a coach. And, you know, I just think that what he's brought to the game, what he's brought to Syracuse in particular, the basketball as well as the community, it's unmatched.
Well, the relationship forged between Coach Boeheim and Carmelo Anthony was one for the ages. Carmelo never lost a game in this building, undefeated in their run to the national championship. And the celebration will continue on here. You see Mike Tirico, the longtime ESPN sports announcer, now with NBC Sports. He will, as a Syracuse alumnus, host an on-court celebration of Coach Boeheim, and you can see that over on ACC Network Extra. So we'll go off the air here on ESPN, and then Randolph and I will be part of that as well and be able to bring that to you. So that gives you plenty of time to find ACC Network Extra.
He's also a classmate of yours. What you guys in the classes?
Both Mike and I are class of 88.
88?
We go way back. And we also saw his lovely wife, Debbie Gibberatz. Debbie Gibberatz Chirico, former Syracuse player herself. Chris Bell back into the game, has another 2 points. He's got 10. And Randolph, not surprisingly, there is a direct correlation between Syracuse winning games and Chris Bell producing points.
Well, that's the second basket he's taken off the dribble. He's known as a guy that you want to put the ball on the deck. You want to force him to put it on the, dribble it. And he's doing a great job. After hitting 8 threes, you're going to run him off the line. And great job by him showing patience and attacking you off the bounce and showing you he's a little bit more than a catch and shoot guy.
Peter Carey has come into the game. He's been sidelined the last few games with a concussion. And so Malik Brown able to take a seat, at least for a moment. And without Malik Brown in there, the Syracuse defense allows an easy bucket inside to Kevin Jai.
Yeah, Carey didn't drop that. He didn't drop below, and that's his responsibility. He's got to instantly drop. Syracuse, one of the adjustments they make in that zone is if it's a shooter, the center will step up. If it's not, they'll drop.
Justin Taylor with a chance for three. His second made field goal on the afternoon.
One of the things you got to worry about with Syracuse, outside of Judah Mintz, the guards are pretty big. And instead of there, just overpower Konechny inside. Doesn't score a lot, not as involved in the offense, but he finds ways, he moves well, he cuts well, and they want to get him going if they can. Just add to the offensive firepower of this team. And you focus so much on J.J. Starnes and Judah Mintz. Just another guy. They need depth and production from other guys.
Mintz got a hand on the ball. Burton gets tied up. The possession arrow belongs to the Fighting Irish, although we have a reach-in foul. Before the tie-up, Mintz is called for the personal. Fourth team foul on the Orange and first on Mintz.
I don't see a lot there, did you?
Well, not on what we just saw in the replay.
No. That's a mercy call. Like
Konechny runs into a brick wall. Logan Imes with 3 to shoot. Konechny got to put it up. Out of bounds, back to Syracuse.
Great defensive possession there by the Orange. The only thing they didn't do is secure the rebound, even though they get the basketball, but they're playing in gaps, keeping everything in front. And if the Irish want to get back in this game, someone's going to have to catch the ball, ready to shoot, knock down some shots. The Orange are content on keeping them out of the paint, forcing jump shots.
Barry Booth back in. Taylor gets it back out to Mintz. Under 6 minutes remaining in the first half. Mintz drawing a crowd of defenders. Cuff nearly traveled, gets it back to Mintz. He's got to make something happen. Step through, that's a 2-point shot. Here comes Burton. As Randolph said, likely the fastest in the league with the basketball. Instead, it's another Irish turnover. Mintz at the other end.
And there's one thing to have turnovers, but what you can't have is the pick sixes. You can't just throw it away for an uncontested layup like that. They've had way too many today, and they're struggling right now, just getting into their offense.
Peter Carey picks up the personal. Tomorrow, Elizabeth Kitley and number 8 Virginia Tech hosts North Carolina at 2 Eastern on ACC Network. The College Game Day crew tips off coverage from Blacksburg at 11 a.m. here on ESPN. Well, 8 Irish turnovers. Like you say, there's a big difference between a live ball turnover and a dead ball turnover, and Syracuse makes you pay as much as anybody in the ACC.
Yeah, you want to make both teams, you want to make this a defensive game, and you want them to play 5-on-5. And the Orange is just having their way getting in transition, creating turnovers.
There's a held ball between Taylor and Burton. And now the possession arrow will switch after the Irish retain possession. First-year head coach of the Fighting Irish, Micah Shrewsbury, coming over last spring after being head coach of Penn State, and his team has coughed it up again. The 9th turnover, and during that, Syracuse has turned those 9 turnovers into 19 points and counting.
And that's why, that's the game. The game for the Irish is taking care of the basketball, and they hurt themselves by turning it over and another basket off the turnover.
I'll tell you what, Malik Brown is a terrific distributor of the basketball in the lane. Again, he finds Taylor on the back cut.
The ball is allowed in the middle of the floor, and that's difficult because it changes direction so fast that they can't get to their help side defense. Got to get the ball out of the middle of the paint.
Burton a little strong. Long rebound comes to Starling. The Orange has done a good job on the glass this afternoon. Ball movement leads to a Starling layup. Brown fights for it, goes to the left hand. He's got a half a dozen, and the Syracuse lead balloons to 42-16.
One team is struggling to get in the paint off the dribble, and the other team is just getting there whenever they want. And sometimes a day like Boeheim Day can be a distraction. The Orange are feeding off of it. The defense is just suffocating the Irish.
Timeout here in Syracuse. ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Bundle home and auto and save. Visit progressive.com.
These are my tissue box covers.
Remember, tissues come in their own boxes. It's important for young homeowners to let go of the things turning them into their parents.
There we go.
All right, who's next?
I've been holding on to these pieces of crown molding because you never know when you're going to need them.
I do, and it's never. It can be a lot for them. Do you still own that car?
I do not.
Okay.
Progressive can't save you from becoming your parents, but we can save you money when you bundle home and auto with us.
Empty tubs of butter are for recycling, not for my leftovers.
That's a big one, people.
This week, My Panera members enjoy 20% off any you pick two. So when part of you wants crispy, crunchy, fresh, and part of you wants melty, smoky, peppery, both yous win big. Only at Panera. 20% off any you pick two exclusively for My Panera members.
Shopify helps you sell at every stage of your business. Like that ready to launch stage. That open for business stage. That sell it everywhere until you sell out stage. That count it up, ship it out stage. And that, wait, did we just hit 1 million orders stage? Whatever the stage, businesses that grow with Shopify.
How many times have I felt this good? Let me count for you. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. How many times have I felt this good?
$1 million Whopper contest. I can top that.
Fried egg.
Lettuce and tomato.
Ham.
Pickle.
Mozzarella. Bacon.
Crispy onions.
Corn chips.
Creating your Whopper your way could win you $1 million. Can you top that?
Hey. Hey. What's this? Coca-Cola spiced. It's...
Nah, dude. It's more like...
Nah, it's...
No, it's...
All right.
All new Coca-Cola Spiced with an unexpected burst of raspberry and spice flavors.
Kevin and Dallin, the Jeep halftime report is on the way. Coming up, much more on an enormous battle in Waco, Houston, and Baylor. Plus, big days for both Duke and North Carolina will look ahead. A very business-like, mature effort so far from Syracuse.
On a special day where they're honoring the great Jim Boeheim, that is a professional performance that is commensurate with how great he was there as a coach. This has been a complete clinic. How they're doing on offense and defense. And the big question is, can they keep it going for the next 24 minutes? It looks great so far.
We'll find out. Back to the Syracuse alum, Doug Sherman.
Thank you, KC, as we celebrate Jim Boeheim Day here inside the Dome. Mookie Jones, Brandon Trish, couple of the more recent Orange players who are here to celebrate their former head coach. And the Orange, there's Tyus Battle, had a terrific 3-year run before turning pro. He is back in Central New York. There is also a celebration up at Drumlin's Country Club tonight to raise money for charity, so it's an all-day event. And Coach Boeheim sitting courtside with his wife Julie, just enjoying what they have seen so far. Syracuse in complete control to this point, Randolph.
They've just dominated this game, had their way on the offensive end of the floor, and defensively they just choked Irish out with everything. Just smothering defensively, creating turnovers, and just overall just executing their game plan.
And coming out of that timeout, can the Fighting Irish close the half strong and get themselves back into it? Not if Malik Brown has anything to say about it.
It's got to be extremely disappointed in their defensive effort. I mean, this is the second best scoring defense in the league. And they've given up 44 points already in the first half with 3 minutes to go. And they only give up 64 for a game. And just can't contain the dribble, not controlling the paint, not playing with the normal level of physicality that they play with. And credit to the Orange.
Well, the Syracuse team has shown, especially recently in games against Louisville and North Carolina State, they can put up points. And against ACC competition, it's been a much better balanced attack. All 5, or rather 5 different players, with Copeland coming off the bench and conference player averaging double figures.
Well, if you're going to turn the ball over and get them in transition, then look out. They're capable of beating anybody, and they're run to size, but a center like Malik Brown, with quick feet, active hands, his ability to play ball screen defense and switch, his versatility just creates so many different matchup problems for teams, and they're just able to just get after you.
A couple of free throws from Kevin Giles, putting together a nice afternoon so far. Sophomore from Centerville, Ohio, who followed Coach Shrewsbury from Penn State. And now he takes a seat. So far, Braden Shrewsbury has yet to score for Notre Dame. That also a problem. They need to get him going. Starling. Everything turning up orange this afternoon.
I mean, the basket just feels like it's an ocean right now for the Orange. Just so confident.
Burton draws the foul on Starling and will go to the foul line for 2.
That's the way they have to play. And Burton has to play that way. He can ill afford to lose any confidence. Even when he's struggling with turnovers, he has to stay aggressive. For the Irish just to be in any game, let alone win a game.
He has won a couple of ACC Rookie of the Week awards in the midst of a historic first season in South Bend. He's come into the game 52 points behind David Rivers for 5th place on the all-time freshman score list. He came in 97 back of Troy Murphy, who holds the record for most points scored in a freshman season by a member of the Irish.
I asked Michael Shrewsbury once, I said, hey, if you can bring back one of your retired jersey numbers for the Irish, what player would it be? He said it would be David Rivers.
Okay.
And that wasn't an indictment on Burton. It was just a general conversation.
Yeah, I find that interesting that he would pick David Rivers. I assume that means more that he loved David as opposed to what his team needs.
Yes.
Because like you say, Burton is...
Yes, he was just a huge David Rivers fan, as I was as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm fans of quite a few of the athletes here in the stands today. We'll get around to talk about
former competitors.
Yes.
Well, it starts with Dave Bing. He was not one of your competitors, but he was Jim Boeheim's, famously his roommate and teammate back in the mid-'60s as players for Syracuse.
Yeah, it's offensive foul there. He just hooks. And this is what happened with the Irish. There's just not a lot of guys you can put the ball in their hands. And Davis, what you want to do is turn and face. He's not a back-to-the-basket post guy. Just turn and face and attack like you're on the perimeter, even when you're posting up.
Great job there by Roper to get over the screen and disrupt that shot by Bell. Davis.
There you go.
Able to get right to the cup.
Yeah, he's not a back-to-the-basket guy. Most guys are struggling. It's not what he is, but he can turn and face and drive and use his athleticism and length as he did there.
Well, Deontay's his given name. He's a coach's kid who played his varsity ball for his father, Dre Davis Sr. at Warren Central. After KP was hired, Tay Davis decided, you know what? I am transferring back closer to home after a freshman year at Seton Hall. Under a minute to go in the half, shot clock down to 3. Starling has to pull. Air ball. Notre Dame has it.
That may be the only bad shot the Orange have had in this first half. They have had their way.
Well, the most points allowed in a half this season by Notre Dame was against Marquette when they put up 52. Beautiful spin move and finish by Markus Burton.
Let's continue to build off this. Block out the score. You still got another half to play, but that's part of their identity for Burton. Just allowing him to use his speed and get to the rim.
Again, Roper gets over the screen. Bell with an ill-advised pass that leads to a turnover. Back to the Irish, who can hold for a final shot if they so choose.
Coach Shrewsbury's telling his guys he want one shot. He'll either run up and set a ball screen for Burton, try to get the matchup they want.
Burton attacks. The defender goes down and Burton lays it in. He's starting to heat up. Now the final 15 seconds of the half.
Burton has to be careful here. He has 2.
2 seconds. 1. Roper beats the buzzer and banks in a 3. The Fighting Irish show signs of life.
They've just struggled all year with that. I think it's the inexperience of a young group that's trying to figure things out.
Judah Mintz, no. Let's see if Notre Dame can keep that momentum. Burton and Shrewsbury in the backcourt. Booth sets the screen. Davis and Roper getting the start here in the second half. Burton's pass goes out of bounds, and that is turnover number 12.
I think Coach Shrewsbury was expecting Davis to come up and set a fade screen to the corner for Braden Shrewsbury, and he didn't. And that's really an unforced turnover there.
Taylor goes backdoor again, and for the third time here this afternoon on a feed from Malik Brown, he lays it in and gets fouled.
That's a great backdoor cut there. Times when your defender's overplaying for that dribble handoff, his head turns your backdoor and taking advantage of the freshman Braden Shrewsbury on the weak side. And he's having himself a game. 9 points today, and kind of a forgotten man in the Orange offense.
Yeah, those 10 points now match the most he has had in the last couple of months. He put 10 on Wake Forest down in Winston, and other than that, he has not gotten a double figure since all the way back in the non-conference against Niagara.
Started off the year really well, double figures in the first couple of games this year. And as the season's gone on, he's been less and less of a focal point.
Tay Davis with the layup, sophomore from Indianapolis, draws the Irish back to within 21. Starling's pass deflected by Burton. Brown gets it back to the corner for Bell, spotting up. And the Irish, another unforced error.
I mean, what do you say? That's just something that Coach Shrewsbury is scratching his head over. Another unforced turnover.
That matches their season average of 13 turnovers. Roper staying right with Bell. The pass to Brown a little low. He couldn't handle it.
You got to continue defensive possessions like that. Keep the ball out of the middle of the paint.
Booth.
Booth should have shot the first one on the catch.
Judah Mintz was fouled and will head to the line to shoot a pair.
Even when you're struggling on the offensive end, sometimes you're not going to get a better shot than that. He caught it, hesitated, turned down an open three to a contested pull-up jump shot, and allows the Orange to get out in transition. And seeing Judah Mintz drive into the basket, seeing ball you in the basket, just getting to the rim is just not a sight you want to see. And
by the way, that was the third personal foul against Markus Burton. And if you're Micah Shrewsbury, as far as I'm concerned, you have no choice. He's got to play through it.
Got to let him in. And again, it's coach's point. I'm sure he's lamented so many different things with Marcus, and you got to let him play through it. This is part of him. He's still learning and still growing as a player, and so is his team.
4 different Orange are in double figures, led by Judah Mintz with the 14 points. Starling has 12, Taylor 10, Bell 10, and Malik Brown has 8. That balance we have seen throughout conference play for Syracuse. Starling gets to the mid-range very well, couldn't make the shot though.
Yeah, they're back to playing in their drop coverage where Curry's sitting in the paint, sitting at the free throw line, so that mid-range shot, they're going to concede that.
Braden Shrewsbury, his first 3 points.
He's been shooting so well from behind the three-point line. Coming into today in the 3-game win streak, he was 16 of 24 from behind.
Wow.
You want to get him going and shooting as many as you can.
Including 7 of 11 the last time out against Louisville. Here he is spotting up wide open. He can heat up in a hurry. That draws a timeout from Coach Autry, as what was a 29-point lead is down to 17. Back to the Dome right after this.
Being the best takes hard work. It takes early mornings, planning, precision, sweat, sacrifice, and teamwork. That's why Old Dominion Freight Line, the #1 national LTL carrier for quality, works hard to be the best in the game and is proud to support those striving to be the best in their game. Old Dominion Freight Line, helping the world keep promises.
In this clinic, we pride ourselves on putting others first. It's on us to help care for our clients' well-being, to help them adapt. It's inspiring to work at a place where our patients succeed and we as therapists do too. With great benefits from Principal, we feel appreciated for the work we do.
You feel it. The moment you fire up the ignition. This is more than a machine. It's a steel-bending, rule-breaking, move-any-mountain rush that comes from pushing boundaries. The drive to dig in, and the determination to dig yourself out. This is more than a machine. It's your game changer. To build the world you want to be in. Bobcat, one tough animal.
Imagine your child going to school without a decent pair of shoes and socks, or a warm coat to protect them from the cold. Many families across the country struggle to be able to provide these basic needs for their children. Subaru wants to help by giving these critical items to more than 150,000 children in urgent need this year. Subaru, more than a car company.
He has his whole life ahead of him. And I don't want to miss anything. I want to make the most of it.
This time belongs to those who want it most, where youth is tested and greats are challenged. The playoff push is coming. The time is now.
On Jim Boeheim Day here in the Dome, we are joined by the man of the hour. Coach, welcome.
It's great to be here, and you know, I think I'm in the union now, so this has got to be paid, isn't it?
It's got to be a hit.
I agree.
You know.
It's a hit.
Well, we're not Wes Durham and Corey Alexander, but I hope you can have fun with us. What's this day been like so far? And I know we've got hours still to come with the stuff up at Drumlins tonight.
You know, seeing the players come back. There's so many. We've had, I think, 80 players, 70 or 80 players came back for this. Seeing Dave Bing back here, who started Syracuse basketball. If people forget, we lost 29 straight games before Dave Bing got here.
Yep.
And changed the whole course of the program. And then all the players, seeing them, seeing the coaches that played for me, Red. I mean, they're doing a great job. This is one of their better defensive games in the first half. And it's, you know, you always fall off a little bit in the second half. But they're just playing really well, moving the ball well. When they do that, I mean, they can beat people. The net is ridiculous, but they have a really, really good wins against North Carolina, at Pittsburgh, at NC State. It used to be you get those road wins, and that's what people looked at. And the strength of schedule, they're like 8 or 10 in the country, and the league has been so devalued. I mean, I know we're going to get like 5 or 6 teams in anyway, no matter what people might say. If you watch teams play, Wake Forest, if you watch Pittsburgh win 6 road games, these teams are going to get in the tournament. I don't care what the metrics, I don't care what the net says, they're good basketball teams. And if we can win out here and get to 20 wins, we have a shot. I mean, nobody's even talking about it that much, but we have good road wins. We beat LSU, who is now playing good. We obviously beat Oregon. They're talking about them being in the tournament. We beat them by 20 on a neutral court. So these guys have done a great job. Adrian's done an amazing job coaching this team. They've really, really played better and better every game.
Burton for 3. He's got it. The Irish continue to hang around.
Talking about Red, what about the job he's done? I mean, following a legend like yourself, I know you're humbled and you don't talk about it as much, but the job he's done, I think, is amazing.
It's incredible because he's switched over to man-to-man, which they had to do, and I've told him this is what we need to do, and he did it, and he's done a great job with that. He's got 6 sophomores. That's what he's got. That's 6 sophomores, no juniors, no seniors. Nobody in the country is that young. And, you know, the other thing that's interesting, this Notre Dame team, I've seen them a few times. They're pretty good. They got off to a bad start, but they're a pretty good basketball team.
We're going to have Coach stay with us through this timeout, and we'll have a surprise for you when we come back. Get your reaction on Jim Boeheim Day here inside the Dome. All orange at the moment.
With no fees or minimums and no overdraft fees, banking with Capital One is the easiest decision in the history of decisions. Even easier than this.
I'll take Barkley.
Yes, I still got it. I told her she'd pick me first.
Yep, even easier than that. With no fees or minimums and no overdraft fees, is it even a decision? That's banking reimagined. What's in your wallet?
Hey, you seeing this?
Wait, where's the dish?
There ain't one.
You're telling me you can get DirecTV, the good stuff, and you don't need a satellite dish? Oh, I used to love doing my business on those things.
You're one sick pigeon. Them dishes kept the rain off our beaks.
We just have different priorities is all.
Satellite-free DirecTV. Never thought I'd see the day.
Well, our lifespans are quite short.
Stream DirecTV without a satellite dish.
I'm gonna do this thing with my neck, just for a bit.
There are hundreds of different kinds of trucks and SUVs on the road. Meet the wiper blades designed with all of them in mind. Rain-X rugged truck and SUV wiper blades. Engineered with graphene for long-lasting durability. They're high-performing blades for high-performing vehicles. Rain-X. Outsmart the elements. Available at your favorite retailer.
The itch and rash of moderate to severe eczema disrupts my skin night and day. Despite treatment, it's still not under control. But now I have Rinvoq. Rinvoq is a once-daily pill that reduces the itch and helps clear the rash of eczema fast. Some Rinvoq patients felt significant itch relief as early as 2 days. Some achieved dramatic skin clearance as early as 2 weeks. And many taking Rinvoq saw clear or almost clear skin.
Rinvoq can lower your ability to fight infections, including TB. Serious infections and blood clots, some fatal. Cancers, including lymphoma and skin. Heart attack, stroke, and GI tears occurred. People 50 and older with a heart disease risk factor have an increased risk of death. Serious allergic reactions can occur. Tell your doctor if you are or may become pregnant.
Help heal your painful skin. Disrupt the itch and rash of eczema. Talk to your doctor about Rinvoq.
Learn how AbbVie can help you save.
Let's say something nice about Jim Boeheim.
Well, I mean, my name is Seton, after Seton Hall. Coach, it was great the way you pummeled us all those years.
I went to UConn, so thanks, Jim, for the 6 overtime loss in the Big East tournament.
Yeah,
Thank you.
This isn't going well. I guess the best tribute we can give to Coach Boeheim, because we would see this, win or lose, he was basically the same person when he was at the podium after a Syracuse game. So if we could all do our Jim Boeheim impersonation. All the best, Coach.
We thank Dan Patrick and the Danettes. What do you think, Coach?
Well, when I met Dan Patrick, he was nothing, and so I must have had something to do with him getting there. But I met him 100 years ago at a Kevin Costner party.
Wow.
And we hung out together. He's a great man, great, funny man.
Well, earlier this week and throughout the week, Mike Waters, who's done a great job as a beat writer for Syracuse.com for years, interviewed, including your son, Buddy, different people remembering what you have meant to them over the years. And he talked to Rick Pitino, your longtime assistant, and he asked him, what is Coach Boeheim's legacy? And I like what Coach Pitino said. He said that it was about loyalty. And what do you think about that? Because it certainly rings true because you've been here 62 straight years.
Well, probably nobody else wanted me, I guess. That's probably why I had to stay here. But, I love it here. The fans, look at 27,000 people here today. We have great fans, and that's part of what makes a good basketball program. If you don't have great fans, you can't have a good program.
Mintz commits the foul, and Burton continues to heat up. He's got a chance for three.
You know, the thing about this game is I've seen Notre Dame a few times, as I said. This young guard here is going to be really, really good, and Shrewsbury's going to be good. They just got off to a terrible start, but they're in this game. There's 15 minutes to go, and you know they're in a 12-point game. This went from 27 to 12, and we've got to regroup now. This is a big moment here. These next couple plays are big.
So if you were back on that bench where you spent so much time, Brown can't finish the lob, what would you be telling the guys right now?
Well, Adrian did just what he should do there. He ran a great play, and they missed the layup. You know, that's coaching sometimes, man. If you run a great play, you get the layup, and the guy misses, and it's like, uh-oh, you know.
You can see the momentum now shifting. It was a 9-0 run to close the first half, and they're on a 13-1 run now, and down 29, and they're cut it to 10.
Brown is fouled. He'll head to the line, so they do a nice job again finding him inside.
Yeah, they've made two really good plays, and that's all you can do. You try to make good plays, but the problem when you go from 27 to this, you know now this is a game.
Now you're in a game.
10 points means nothing now.
Let your foot off the gas a little bit, and momentum change, and you got to get back to defending, which they hang their hat on.
Well, the end of the first half just was brutal.
Yes.
It was brutal, you know. And this is what happens when things go bad as a coach. Then you miss a layup, now you miss a free throw, and now players start thinking about it, and you just don't want to get into that situation.
Brown empty from the free throw line. Just over 5 minutes gone here in the second half.
Where does
the crowd is in the dome getting a little antsy.
Where does coaching your boys rank on your list of accomplishments?
It was great. It was fun coaching them. They're great kids. It was fun, really fun coaching them. We didn't win enough, but we had fun with it. We were great offensively. We couldn't guard anybody, and that's not a good. We were about 10th in the country in offense and about 280 in defense. So it wasn't fun, but it was great having them here.
What do you think about the pride of Southwest Philly, what Quadir has brought to this team?
He is a tough guy. He makes some mistakes, but he makes plays. And he's going to be really good in another year. He needs another year.
Always want a guy who takes pride in sacrificing his offense on the defensive end of the floor and wants to guard the other team's best player.
Yeah.
That's what he does.
The Irish get a good look. Booth has it rattle out. Davis on the offensive glass. He missed it, but another opportunity for Notre Dame is cashed in. It's back to an 11-point game.
There's one thing that the Orange don't do very well, and that is rebound. And that's the strength of this Irish team.
Yeah. We're not, we look out there, there's 4 guards and a forward when you look at our team. And, you know, we've battled some, but we've had some bad games rebounding the ball.
Burton gets to the basket, able to score over Bell.
And this is the problem with Chris Bell. He's a great offensive player. He's got to step up there and get in front. And
Mintz to Brown, steps through the double team and lays it in.
Malik Brown is just so underrated. He won't win any awards, any ACC honors, but as a player, his IQ, he just does everything well.
He should be on the all-defensive team someplace because he does everything at 6'8". He's guarding centers.
Coach, have you ever had a 6'8" player who gets his hand on as many balls as Brown does?
No, he's in the top 2 or 3 in the league in steals. Marek Dolezaj was a little bit like that, but Malik's even been better.
Mintz, no look inside. Copeland gathers, missed the layup. Roper pulls it down for the Irish.
This is what you think about after the game. 2 or 3 missed layups, and all of a sudden, they're right back in the game.
Wow. Markus Burton with a highlight reel move to the basket. Irish back within 11.
I know Autry's upset with that because the game plan was to corral him. You can't allow him to come at you with his speed in transition and not have more bodies around the basketball.
Well, he's been one of the most impressive freshmen in the league.
He is.
Bell puts it up and in.
This kid
off the feed from Copeland
can shoot the ball like not too many I've seen, Randall. He gets it off so fast, and he doesn't even have to bring it down like most shooters. He catches it and takes it right up. Well, he almost made a defensive play. That was
You're asking for too much, Coach.
That was an excellent.
Copeland missed the left-handed shot. Irish back with it. Under 12 minutes remaining in regulation.
Well, the fans are getting to see a good game now after that start. I mean, it was a little too easy, but you got to give Notre Dame and Coach Shrewsbury a lot of credit. They've fought back in this. They were pretty much out of this game, and they've done an unbelievable job of fighting back.
Copeland with another takeaway.
We talked about it earlier, too. The depth perception in the arena can bother teams.
Yeah, it can. I've seen teams come in here and shoot lights out, though. So Virginia made 18 threes in here when the year they won the championship out of 24. Because they had Kyle Guy.
Yeah, I agree to say that. When you have 4 NBA guys on your roster.
they beat us the worst of anybody I've ever. They just did everything.
I think that team was top 5 in the offensive efficiency and defensive efficiency.
Yes, they were.
And another defensive breakdown allows for the wide open corner 3 by Davis. Well, before our time is up, we just want to also mention the Jim and Julie Boeheim Foundation and all the good charitable work that you folks have done, raising over $8 million, doing so much good for the folks here in Central New York.
Well, we've been lucky. We've had great support from the community, and that's how you raise money. The community has to support you. We've been blessed with that. So we're having our 25th gala this year. Mike Krzyzewski's coming in.
Nice.
Mike Tirico. So it's going to be fun.
Well, we see what the community feels about the Boeheims today. Congratulations on everything. Keep enjoying the day, Jim.
Thanks.
Thanks so much.
Congratulations, Coach.
10.5 minutes to go here inside the Dome on Jim Boeheim Day. Syracuse hanging on.
Where'd you learn to serve?
Oh, I didn't serve, but if your spouse, parent, or grandparent served in the military, you can join USAA.
Yeah, my grandpa did, so I'm already in, but I was talking about your serve.
Oh.
USAA, for the military community.
Back for another flounder fish sandwich?
And a shrimp tackle box.
Let us do the fishing while y'all enjoy our seafood that you'll love. Get them before they're gone.
We're lucky to have this team working for us. Our therapists give their all each day by helping those who need it most. We take great pride, not just in the job our team does, but in them as people, our people. And while we're in the business of taking care of others, it's important our therapists know that with benefits from Principal, they're taken care of too.
Nothing comes close to this place in the morning. I'm so glad I can still come here. You see, I was diagnosed with obstructive HCM, and there were some days I was so short of breath, I thought I'd have to settle for never stepping foot on this trail again. I became great at making excuses, but I have people who count on me, so I talked to my cardiologist. I said there must be more we can do for my symptoms. He told me about a medication called Camzyos. He said Camzyos works by targeting what's causing my obstructive HCM, so he prescribed it, and I'm really glad he did.
Camzyos is used to treat adults with symptomatic obstructive HCM. Camzyos may improve your symptoms and your ability to be active. Camzyos may cause serious side effects, including heart failure that can lead to death, a risk that's increased if you develop a serious infection or irregular heartbeat or when taking certain other medicines. So do not stop, start, or change medicines or the dose without telling your healthcare provider. You must have echocardiograms before and during treatment. Seek help if you experience new or worsening symptoms of heart failure. Because of this risk, Camzyos is only available through a restricted program. Before taking Camzyos, tell your doctor about all of your medical conditions, including current or planned pregnancy.
Today with Camzyos, I don't lose my breath as often. My symptoms have improved, helping me go from expecting less to experiencing more.
My name is Mike, and this is my Camzyos moment.
Call your cardiologist today and see if a Camzyos moment may be in your future too.
Domino's Perfect Combo includes 2 pizzas, 2 sides, and a 2-liter bottle of Coke. So we were asking real people how much they think all of this costs.
$35, $45, $50.
$19.99. I'm about to order that when I get home. It's Domino's Perfect Combo, and it's all just $19.99.
The possible ACC Rookie of the Year, Markus Burton, really heating up here in the second half for the Irish.
He has. He's gotten back in, helped get the Irish back into this game, and see him catch a standstill three there and getting the and one against Judah Mintz. This is what he does best: attacking the rim, getting to the paint. Here's just a heck of a move there and wrap around and finish. Got 10 here in the second half and 18 for the game. And this is the matchup we thought we'd see, and we got ourselves a ball game now.
Yeah, again, remember, it was a 29-point Syracuse lead late in the first half until the Irish rattled off 9 in a row to get a little momentum heading into the locker room, and they've picked up where they've left off. And Burton has shown you the repertoire. He comes in averaging over 16 a game, over 4 assists per game, and 2 steals per game. Again, as a freshman, he's top 10 in the ACC in each of those 3 categories.
He is, and one of 2 players, and the other is Judah Mintz. And see now Red changes things up a little bit and goes to the Syracuse zone. And when you're in this, you got to find the 11. You got to know which Braden Shrewsbury is, and of course you got to know where Markus Burton is.
And how much fun was that for us to have Jim Boeheim join us here for the last few minutes on Jim Boeheim Day?
He's amazing, and I'm glad he took the time to come hang out with us.
Wow, Burton up to 21 points and counting.
It's a massive mistake there by the Orange. 2 guys, you got to know where they are in the zone, and not communicating, and you give up one to the guy who's playing the best basketball in the second half here, and Markus Burton.
Kyle Cuff has come into the game for Syracuse, number 0 in white. Mintz banking it home, working on Logan Imes for 2 more.
Logan Imes is going to need some help.
And that's no indictment.
No.
He's
just a heck of a player, and
sure is.
Judah Mintz, and you got to just slide somewhere. You can't allow him to play one-on-one.
With Shrewsbury. Boy, he's got a pretty stroke.
Gets it off quick, and you know he has confidence shooting it when your dad's the coach and allows you to. No reason not to shoot him. No one does it better than he is right now in the ACC at the last couple of games. He's shooting 43% in the league right now.
And we see Judah Mintz heading to the Syracuse bench. Looks like he's holding that left thigh, perhaps, or the knee.
Didn't see much contact there, but.
So now Copeland has the ball in his hands. Scoop, pass, top, layup.
Probably known for his defense, and he comes in there and just cuts to the rim and just rewarded for his body movement.
Shrewsbury. Doesn't matter if you contest him. If he's lined up and is shot ready, he can make that shot.
Gets himself ready to run a lot of action for him. You're so accustomed to him setting back screens, but they have so many counters to their sets, and him ghosting screens and running off a pin down is one of them, and he's knocked down 2 back-to-back.
This is the closest the game has been since early in the first half. Copeland, air ball, great defense by Notre Dame. Imes has it.
Got to get back if you're Orange. You don't want to leave Markus Burton here one-on-one.
Bell recovers to block the shot. It goes out of bounds. Notre Dame will keep. Roper will return from the Irish bench.
He didn't get back and match up. Lucky here. Bell makes a heck of a play and getting the block. But it's difficult. You get up 29 in the first half in a day like today, and your intensity level drops. The Irish now are confident.
Jai with an easy layup in that zone.
No quitting this team. They're playing now with a level of desperation, and they are back in this game. The Orange have got to buckle down and get back into their offense, which is having the ball in the middle of the floor, running it through Malik Brown.
Mintz will come back in at the next stoppage. Bell. It's another assist from the paint by Brown.
Yeah, got to put the ball in his hands and allow him to make plays.
Well, Shrewsbury is heating up as we head to break now. 4 of 6 from distance. Same for Bell on the other side, but Notre Dame is right in this ball game. Thanks to the coach's kid getting the hot hand.
Nuts! No. With Planters nuts, it's not nuts. It's nuts. Because Planters nuts are good.
Planters nuts. Nuts.
$5 duo at Burger King. Double up flavors when hunger dings. Whopper Jr. and Royal Crispy Wraps for a lunch, dinner, or late night snack. BK, have it your way.
Crunchy. Ooh.
Tasty.
Oh.
Sweet or savory.
Always satisfying.
Give me Blue Diamond. Crunchy, tasty, sweet or savory. Always satisfying.
Give me Blue Diamond. Crunchy, tasty, sweet or savory. Always satisfying. Give me
Blue Diamond Almonds.
I recommend La Roche-Posay Lipicar Body Cream. One application a day keeps very dry skin away. 48-hour hydration helps repair the skin barrier. La Roche-Posay.
The $20 taste of KFC meal is 6 pieces of chicken and these 4 sides. Mashed potatoes and gravy, some of this, creamy this, and cheesy that. And don't forget the buttery biscuits. All that for $20. KFC, it's finger-licking good.
When you're great, your game does the talking. In the ACC, ours speaks volumes. 3 of the last 8 NCAA championships. 99 NCAA tournament wins since 2015. 8 NCAA titles in the last 22 years. 6 of the top 30 winningest programs in Division I, most of any conference. It's not bragging if it's true. Greatness is what we do. The ACC accomplished greatness.
Socks, underwear, and t-shirts are the most requested items in homeless shelters. Bombas was founded to help, so for everyone you buy, we donate one. One purchased, one donated. It's a tangible act of kindness for those who need it most. Distributed by 3,500 giving partners across all 50 states. And with 100 million donations and counting, the impact is real. Visit bombas.com and get 20% off your first order.
Notre Dame has turned the tide here in the second half, back to within 7 of the Orange. And we got a sense during the early part of this timeout, truly the vocal leader and the loudest voice on this Syracuse team belongs to that man, Quadir Copeland.
I think he's the verbal leader of this team. He's not their best player, but he is their leader. And he takes pride on the defensive end of the floor, which is the identity of this team. And they're not defending here in the second half. And they got up 29, they've taken their foot off the gas, and the momentum has swung to the Irish, and he's letting his teammates know the time is now. We've got to get back to defending, and he knows that starts with him. You see Coach Autry there just telling him, hey, you got to calm down. We don't need you upset. We need you kind of leading this group. And when you play with the amount of passion that Quadir Copeland plays with, you understand it as a coach, and you're just telling him, hey, this isn't the time. We got to rally and stick together here.
And during that timeout, we saw him talking most passionately to Syracuse assistant coach Alan Griffin, former terrific point guard for the Orange, who shared a neat story during practice yesterday. Brown pokes the ball away, and he is fouled. Will head to the line. Sherman Douglas, one of the great Orange players from back in the day, back in the 80s, was at practice yesterday, addressed the team after practice. And Alan Griffin, who has a triple-double to his resume, had a game with 13 assists. And so he said after that game for Syracuse, he was feeling himself, called folks back home, and was trying to feel really good about having had 13 assists. And whoever was on the other end of the phone said, you know what? Sherman Douglas, who you see on the left there in the light shirt, Sherman had 22 assists in the game against Providence. So why don't you pump the brakes on yourself with those 13 assists?
Yeah, you got to know your audience there and know who you're talking to. And you can talk about assists, but one guy you don't want to brag to assist about is Sherman Douglas. You notice I never brought up passing the ball in front of him.
No, you wouldn't.
I was smart enough to do that.
Well, again, when Sherm graduated from here, he held the NCAA single-game assist record and the all-time career assist record, both since broken. Burton continuing to impose his will.
It's just so difficult and so fast with the ball in his hands, and now they're the aggressor attacking the paint. Burton with another chance at an and one.
How does the smallest guy on the court finish as well as he does in traffic?
Well, he's got probably the biggest heart of anyone out there. And when you're that size, you usually play to make it to this level and be this successful. There's a chip on your shoulder. A lot of people doubting you when he plays that way.
Judah Mintz to the left hand, no. Brown had a chance at it. And the Irish were the last to touch. The Syracuse will keep with 20 on the shot clock. Tough penetrates and lays it in.
Kyle Cuff, known for his defense, shows you I can score it a little bit too when I get an opportunity there.
Burton again all the way to the basket.
They found something in that middle ball screen there. Just getting downhill, a little resistance there. The Orange are going to have to switch that or figure out another way to corral the ball.
Judah Mintz. Let's see if Burton has an answer. Mr. Basketball in the state of Indiana last year, becoming the first true freshman at Notre Dame since Chris Thomas 23 years ago to start the year at point guard. What a marvelous second half he is putting together. Not that time. On the held ball, Syracuse will get it.
Intensity's flaring up there now. It's
looked like Bell got another block shot and then he got tied up. And so Syracuse gets the possession. Coach Shrewsbury's team is known for its defense, and they have been doing a much better job in the second half. They got it down to 4, currently an 8-point Syracuse lead.
Yeah, they've dug themselves in the hole, and no one in the ACC has had 78 points all year. And against this team defensively, even in their 7-game losing streak, no one scored more than 73.
J.J. Starling on the move. It's back to a double-digit lead.
This backcourt of the Orange has been playing really well of late. Mintz has always been a problem, but J.J. Starling has turned himself into a player. And last 5 games, just been 17 points a game, shooting it well from the floor. And
well, unquestionably, this was Judah Mintz's team coming into the season, and J.J. Starling transferring in from Notre Dame. By the way, facing his former team, but almost none of his former teammates here.
Yes.
But I got the sense, and in talking to coaches, that Starling was just trying to find his way, being perhaps deferential. And what's that like when you come in? You know, you changed teams as a professional, as you went from place to place. You've got to find your way, and you can't just necessarily come in and take over. Booth slams it down.
No, you cannot, and it takes some adjustment. When you come in and you have the talent that he has, and being a former McDonald's All-American, you come in with a reputation, but you have to tread lightly when you're coming into a new situation where players are already established.
Cuff spotting up. Rebound Davis, he'll dribble up. Cuff comes up to greet Shrewsbury about 35 feet from the basket, and then he commits the foul on the switch.
They like to run that ball screen action there, and with Davis running to a dribble handoff, just giving you another angle, he's going to dribble it to Burton.
Cuff has given them good minutes off the bench. He goes out. Copeland comes back in.
He has. He's been really solid for him.
Burton finds an open space at the elbow. Brown above the rim for the rebound.
That's Burton's shot there, getting to the paint. 10 to 15 feet, elevating and finishing that mid-range jump shot.
Copeland probing, spinning twice, puts it up and in.
Big guards for the Orange. Even Mintz plays bigger than his size, but he's still a 6'4" guard himself, and there's nothing but size out there. They're going to be able to post up.
Tay Davis with the huge hammer. The Fighting Irish are not going away. Looking to spoil Jim Boeheim Day here in the Dome. Syracuse hanging on to the lead, but the Irish just keep coming.
You were always so dedicated. We worked hard to build up the shop, save for college and our retirement. But we got there thanks to our advisor and Vanguard. Now I see who all that hard work was for. It was always for you. Seeing you carry on our legacy, I'm so proud.
At Vanguard, you're more than just an investor, you're an owner, setting up the future for the ones you love. That's the value of ownership.
Surviving in the game don't depend on what you think. It depends on what you do.
So what's the next move?
We're going national, which means more eyes are on us. We are about to fly.
Welcome to the ATL. BMF has a bright future ahead of us.
Oh, here comes the bread guy.
Ugh, don't you ever get sick of bread?
How dare you?
Come on. If you save nearly $750 like this, imagine what we could splurge on.
Oh, like sourdough.
No, the good stuff, like blueberries.
And strawberries?
Exactly.
Raspberries, blackberries, cranberries,
Okay,
elderberries.
we don't need to name all the berries.
Goji berries, Halle berry. I'm just kidding.
Mm-hmm.
But I love her.
Switch to Progressive and you can save hundreds to spend on whatever you dream up.
Walmart Plus members save on delivery, gas, plus so much more. Join today.
Hey, you seeing this?
Wait, where's the dish?
There ain't one.
You're telling me you can get direct TV, the good stuff, and you don't need a satellite dish? Oh, I used to love doing my business on those things.
You're one sick pigeon. Them dishes kept the rain off our beaks.
We just have different priorities is all.
Satellite-free direct TV. Never thought I'd see the day.
Well, our lifespans are quite short.
Stream DirecTV without a satellite dish.
I'm gonna do this thing with my neck, just for a bit.
At this time, we would like the family members to move forward and put on your soldiers' Army one-star badge.
Proud of you.
Kevin and Dallin in studio. LJ Cryer back in Waco, and Houston is needing every one of his opportunities. But Baylor back in this one.
The second half has been all the Bears right now. They've defended better, whether it be man or zone, and they are knocking down shots, 6 threes in the second stanza alone.
Meantime, Jared McCain has really come on for the Blue Devils.
Put it lightly, KC. This dude's been on fire, but can he do it on the road in a game that Wake really needs to win for their resume? Can't wait for this one.
Big one in the ACC after we go final in the Dome, Doug.
Kevin, thank you. And there is the co-captain duo of the 1966 Syracuse basketball team that went on to the Elite Eight. Dave Bing and Jim Boeheim have been good friends since they were roommates as sophomores at Del Plain Hall on the other side of campus. And the fun will continue after we're done here on ESPN. The Jim Boeheim celebration will be carried live on ACC Network Extra with Randolph Childress. I'm Doug Sherman. We will bring that to you, so you'll have time. You'll have a few minutes after the end of our over-the-air broadcast to get yourself to ACC Network Extra to watch the Boeheim ceremony that will be emceed by 1988 Syracuse graduate Mike Tirico, who has made the trip back, as have dozens of former Syracuse players. What a fun day to be here in the Dome.
And congratulations to you to be able to call this game. It's a special game, a special day for an Orangeman, and
it's a privilege.
No one loves it more than you do.
Thank you.
Congratulations. I'm honored to be here with you.
Missed free throw for the Irish. Syracuse with it with 3:45 left in regulation. Mintz, Copeland, Bell, Starling, and Brown, the 5 on the floor for Syracuse. Roper and Booth defending out front. Mintz penetrates and rattles it home.
had to match up defensively that they wanted with Booth's length. And it doesn't matter.
Burton and Mintz got tangled, and Mintz is going to be called for the foul. That was an odd hookup that they got. You know, we see a hook and hold when you're banging for a rebound, but not on the perimeter.
That's a freshman showing you he has some experience there. Their arms get tangled up, and Markus Burton just hooked his arm and showing you his experiences as he's learning and growing as the season's going on. And that's a vet move right there. He's picked up from someone that did that to him during the year.
And another missed front end there. By the way, that was the 4th personal foul on Mintz. He's got the basketball with just over 3 on the clock.
They've got to corral the ball, though. There's too much. They're allowing the Orange to go one-on-one, choosing their matchups. Guys got to be pulled in more and help the guy driving.
Copeland calls his own number no. Davis with a big rebound for the Irish.
And that matched up. No one picked up Burton here.
Shrewsbury. Boy, that was beautiful.
You can see it coming. The Orange, you got to get back. The rebound was made. They're standing behind, trying to take the ball from Davis. They never got back and matched up, and they paid for it dearly with the 3 there.
He is now 5 of 7 from long distance for his 15 points.
We're at the guts of the game now. The Irish has to get stops.
Starling, no. Oh, yes. Shrewsbury with a hand in his face, and again Copeland is 6'6" long and had his hand right in the grill of the shooter.
He's just unconscious lately from behind the 3-point line. He's just confident. He knows it's going in and knocks down his 6th 3-pointer here.
Yeah, so again, he was 7 of 11 in the game at Louisville this week. Now 6 of 8 here this afternoon. Starling pulling up over Burton. Everything but the bottom of the net.
Got to get back. Now you got to corral the ball here. Great job there by Brown.
Timeout called by Notre Dame. Coach Shrewsbury wants to talk over this critical possession. We'll take a break and come back to the Dome in 30 seconds as we go right down to the wire. He may not try a breakaway dunk, but Braden Shrewsbury sure can shoot from long range.
When you shoot it like this and you get this off so quickly, I mean, that is up and out. And Cordelia Copeland is just looking back saying, hey, I was right there. But we talked about it. No one is hotter than shooting 3-point shots right now than Braden Shrewsbury. He's been unconscious in his 3-game winning streak, and he hadn't cooled off at all here today.
Well, back in the 2nd week of January, he had one of those games at Georgia Tech, scored 25, earned Rookie of the Week in the ACC. Having himself a week again. Roper left all alone, and he buries it. The Fighting Irish are back within 3.
The play was supposed to be a misdirection play for Shrewsbury after the dribble handoff. The Orange defended that well and wasn't expecting Roper to knock down that 3 in the corner.
Mintz to Starling. Shot clock reset. And I don't think it should have. Coach Shrewsbury gets the officials' attention, and we'll see how they figure this out.
Great job of recognizing that from the Irish bench. And I thought it was an air ball myself, and you definitely don't want to lose 20 seconds here with the
Well, I thought Burton might have gotten a finger on the shot. Maybe, maybe not. Just well short.
Steph. Oh, did it hit the rim there?
Maybe it did.
That's a big play there.
Does the rotation of the ball obviously change?
That doesn't look like it, does it? From the other angle, it looked like it hit the rim.
Yeah.
Man, this game started out 29 points. Now down to 3. We have gotten ourselves a game.
Well, you hear coaches talk about the last 5 minutes of the half, first 5 minutes of the half being so important, and that has borne itself out so true here today. Those final few minutes of the first half when Notre Dame clamped down.
No.
But Notre Dame clamped down and went into the halftime locker room believing again. They got 9 straight points to cut it from 29 down to 20, and you never know how they're going to react after a long break at halftime, but they have picked up and made a ball game of it when you didn't think they could.
Well, what they did from that closing of the first half, then they started in that first TV timeout in the second half. They won that 4-minute stretch, and then they just kept chipping away, and they're back in this game, and this team is dangerous, and they're starting to get stops on the defensive end.
Well, Notre Dame has won its last 3 games, home against Virginia Tech, then beat Georgia Tech before going to Louisville and beating the Cardinals 72-50, trying to make it 4 in a row with what would be a big road victory. All right, they've put 5 on the shot clock, so it should not have been a reset. They indeed said it was an air ball, so now if you're Syracuse, where do you go on this sideline out of bounds?
Well, you got to find a way to get the ball into Judah Mintz's hands, or J.J. Starling's here, and Mintz is taken out, so let's see if they can get a quick handoff afterwards. Malik Brown gets it, and then a dribble handoff with Mintz. Tried to get it backdoor, and it wasn't there.
Judah Mintz blocked. Shot clock violation, but the Irish have possession before the horn went off. So Notre Dame can tie it with under 30 seconds to go.
You don't need a 3 here. Coach Shrewsbury called timeout. Now you got a decision to make. 5-second difference in the shot clock. Do you shoot? Do you foul? Take the quick 2, then get a foul. When they first possessed the rebound, they had enough time if they wanted to go 2 for 1. But when you have an inexperienced team like this that's learning how to win, slow it down and get the right shot.
Either way, you've got to figure it'll be Markus Burton and Braden Shrewsbury trying to make something happen, whether it's an open 3 for Shrewsbury or Burton turning the corner and getting into the lane for himself.
But if you take a 3 here and you miss it, the game will be essentially over because it comes a 2-possession game at that point. It's a free throw game at that free throw shooting contest at that point. And if you go in by 1, those free throws will matter. You put more pressure on whoever it is, but you gotta keep the ball out of Judah Mintz's hands.
But if you're Notre Dame, you wouldn't turn down an open 3.
No. You're gonna run a play for Shrewsbury here, but tell him he doesn't have to force it. You see, he's taking the basketball out.
Keep an eye on Burton, number 3, in blue, near the free throw line, guarded by Mintz. Looks like Syracuse will defend man-to-man on the baseline out of bounds.
Look at the stagger. Look for a stagger or something for Burton coming to the ball with, once it's inbounded, I expect even a pin down or something for Shrewsbury after he takes it out.
And now a late switch. Cuff comes out and Bell comes in on the defensive end. Copeland shifts over to defend the inbounder.
Allows you to switch. Here it is, coming up. Here it is.
He left his feet, came back down. It appeared, no whistle, missed the 3. Syracuse has it. And Bell is fouled.
Yeah, you had to know when Shrewsbury was taking it out, there was going to be some action for him. And while you make the sub and get a guy like Copeland in, look at him close out ground, avoid the screen, and avoid the foul to be able to contest that shot.
Was that a travel? Did Shrewsbury's right foot come off the ground?
Yes, but who's going to call it now? I wouldn't have minded a little free basketball there if he was able to knock that one down. What a game.
And so now Chris Bell, who on the year is an 80% free throw shooter. As you see, it's his first time at the line today. Young man from California, whose father Charlie played back in the day at Loyola, Maryland. Very calmly hits the first.
Yeah, that's the cost of taking that three now. It's a two-possession game now, and now I'd be surprised if they take a three here.
Yeah, you said it, Randolph. Take that three if it's open, but don't force it.
Don't force it, because now it's a two-possession game, and if you're the Orange, you just defend the three-point line, and now they're back. They're allowing him to roll the ball up the court. Expect Judah Mintz to get up and force him to pick it up. If I'm Burton, I'm just putting my head down and getting to the rim.
Here he goes. Banking it home, 11.5 on the clock. Back to a three-point game. Baseball pass ahead to Copeland, and he's going to try and play keep away. Shrewsbury commits the foul with 9.3 on the clock. Coming up next, we'll send you to Duke and Wake Forest as soon as we're done here at the Dome.
Big opportunity there for the Deeks to get one at home.
Quadir Copeland at 68% this year from the line. The 6'6" sophomore misses. The door's open.
Do you foul or you let him play? That's
Burton for the tie. No! Back tap. Syracuse will head back to the line. What a look from Burton. And it looked like you were going to get your bonus basketball there.
He dribbled into one, and I think he was expecting there may be a foul. And the Orange got a good look, and it looked good from where we were sitting. And
now it's no foregone conclusion that Kyle Cuff is going to make these free throws. He's only been there 12 times this year, and he's made just 6 of them. We have a timeout call. Coach Shrewsbury letting the officials hear about it. Let's go back to the studio and Kevin Connors.
And Doug, we want to let you know the start of the Duke-Wake Forest game is over on the ESPN app right now. Critical game for the Blue Devils, a tie atop the ACC to start the day. Critical game for Wake. Joe Lunardi's first team out. It's underway on the ESPN app.
Yeah, the Deeks with a big opportunity, trying to become that next ACC team, projected by Joey Brackets into the field of 68. They certainly seem like they're going to be there at the end of the day.
It's going to be a great atmosphere in Lawrence Joel today, and Deeks with an opportunity to get on the right side of the bubble.
They need that signature win.
They do.
And
they do.
Presents that opportunity for sure.
Played them well in Cameron, and now they get their shot at home, and that should be a game similar to what we have here. It started out rocky, but this is ended up being a heck of a game.
Well, if I told you before the game that Notre Dame would score 85 points and potentially not win, would you have believed me?
I would not have believed you with the way they defended.
But Syracuse has shown, as we've seen against Carolina last week, against Louisville, against NC State, when they are rolling, they can put points on the board in a hurry. So here's Cuff, 6 of 12 on the year, now 6 of 13. The heave is going to come up short, and the Orange survive